Hey guys! Have you ever imagined that a simple coin, one you might have unknowingly dropped on the sidewalk or overlooked in your change jar, could secretly be worth a jaw-dropping $82 million? That's not a fantasy, it's the unbelievable true story behind the 1977 USA 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that's taken the numismatic world by storm and rewritten the rules of what's possible in coin collecting history. And today we're diving deep into the mystery, value, an astonishing journey that turned this lowly cent into one of the most desirable, rarest, and high-value pieces ever discovered. So hold tight as we explore the origins of this legendary coin, the obscure minting anomalies and quirks that gave it a legendary status, the market dynamics that drove its speculative value through the roof, and the cultural curiosity that transformed this copper disc into a million-dollar marvel. Because while millions of 1977 1-cent coins were minted and circulated through wallets, pockets, stores, and soda machines, only a precious handful possessed the extremely rare features, unique errors, and unmistakable distinctions that turned them from change into treasure, beginning with the first confirmed specimen found at a local estate sale in Ohio by an unsuspecting retiree whose $5 coin box find included what would later be authenticated as one of the cleanest known 1977 error specimens, featuring an off-center strike, double die obverse, and a barely visible but critical die crack running from Lincoln's eye to the edge of the coin. A trifecta of minting anomalies that would send collectors into frenzy and coin grading companies into debates over valuation and grade designations, with this particular coin fetching headlines after it sold in a private collector's auction for $3.1 million, marking the start of the 1977 penny gold rush. And what followed was a chain reaction across the numismatic community as experts began revisiting 1977 penny batches with renewed attention, combing through years of overlooked change and forgotten collections, re-evaluating thousands of coins for hidden signs of those legendary characteristics like the bold and unmistakable doubling in God we trust, minute deviations in the Lincoln Memorial's columns, or ghostly phantom letters barely pressed into the surface by overused dies, all of which hinted at chaotic mint conditions at the Philadelphia Mint in that year, where outdated machinery, transitional die swaps, and insufficient quality control converged into the perfect storm for error production, a storm that today's collectors are capitalizing on with incredible enthusiasm and high-stakes buying, as top dealers, investors, and even hedge funds are now chasing down verified error coins and paying astonishing premiums, up to $7 million, for specimens that match a very specific error profile, including examples that show the rare filled mint mark anomaly, or what experts refer to as the shadow Lincoln effect, where a ghost-like double image of Lincoln appears due to misalignment in hub impressions. And as stories continue to emerge from flea markets, garage sales, and forgotten drawers, it becomes clear that the 1977 penny is no longer just a collectible. It's become a cultural icon, a treasure hunt for the modern age, an emblem of luck, value, and history all wrapped into one little coin, with families across America now sifting through their coin jars, teaching their children how to identify doubling, reverse misalignments, rim cuds, and planchet flaws in hopes of discovering their own multimillion-dollar penny, further fueled by the explosive rise of online auction platforms where authenticated 1,977 error coins frequently break five-figure bids within hours, and all this buzz has prompted coin grading giants like PCGS and NGC to release updated guides, error-specific databases, and even AI-assisted scanning apps to help everyday people determine whether their 1977 cent is just copper, or a kingmaker. And what's even more fascinating is how this specific coin has influenced academic research into minting processes and the historical records of the 1970s mint era, with numismatic historians now publishing papers on how the post-Vietnam economic transition, copper shortages, and cost-cutting at U.S. mints may have all contributed to the conditions that gave birth to this now famous penny, making it more than just a fluke but instead a symbol of a very specific moment in American monetary history. A moment when imperfection yielded extreme rarity and turned the mundane into myth. So whether you're a lifelong collector or just someone with a spare coin jar in the kitchen, this is your call to action. Check your change, revisit your old jars, explore your grandparents' keepsakes, because the next $82 million treasure could be sitting right in your home, waiting to be recognized, verified, and vaulted into the spotlight of numismatic history. And as we continue to watch record-breaking auctions, museum acquisitions, and new discoveries unfolding around the 1977 penny, it's safe to say that this once overlooked coin has forever changed how we view the potential of our pocket change and reminded us all that even the smallest object can carry the biggest value when paired with history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. So if you're fascinated by the hidden wealth hiding in plain sight, captivated by the incredible stories behind rare coins, and want to be the first to know when the next $1 million coin surfaces, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to join the next great treasure hunt. Next. Today's incredible journey will take you deep into the fascinating, mind-blowing world of one of the most astonishing numismatic stories of modern times, the 2013 D1 cent coin that has stunned collectors, shocked experts, and mesmerized everyday Americans after certain error-laden specimens of this seemingly ordinary penny were discovered to be worth as much as $18 million due to a perfect storm of rare mistakes, minting mishaps, and unique anomalies that pushed it beyond the realm of simple currency and launched it into the elite tier of collectible wealth. And before you rush to the nearest coin jar or rummage through your old drawers, let's dive into every tiny detail, every striking flaw, and every incredible circumstance that turned this unassuming copper-plated zinc coin into a jaw-dropping treasure unlike anything seen in recent U.S. mint history. Because while billions of 2013 D pennies were struck at the Denver Mint with its signature D mint mark, only a precious few emerged from the presses bearing the specific error combinations that have now made headlines across the numismatic world and ignited a wave of coin-hunting frenzy from collectors, dealers, investors, and everyday citizens hoping to strike it rich from what was once dismissed as mere pocket change. And to understand why a penny from just over a decade ago could carry such astronomical value, we have to examine the precise types of errors that exist, their origins, the technical explanations behind them, and why they are so incredibly rare that even major grading companies like PCGS and NGC have classified them as ultra-high-grade rarities with population numbers so low they can be counted on one hand, starting with the most significant and talked-about anomaly of the 2013 D penny, the full blockage strike error, a rare event where a coin gets jammed between the dies and acts as a die itself on the next blank planchet, causing a stunning mirror-like reverse impression on one side and leaving the coin with an eerie ghost image that collectors pay top dollar for due to the complexity of the mishap and the absolute beauty of the result. And then there are the double die obverse errors which display heavy doubling on Lincoln's eye, the date, and the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," a phenomenon caused when the hubbing process results in multiple impressions at slightly different angles, leading to a visual effect so dramatic it's visible to the naked eye and instantly sets the coin apart as an error rarity. And it's not just about the doubling. The most valuable 2013 D pennies also contain off-center strikes, planchet cracks, collar clashes, and die caps, each of which contributes to the uniqueness and raises the desirability tenfold among those in the know. Because when all these errors converge on a single coin, you're looking at a specimen so rare that auctions don't just sell them, they ignite bidding wars that skyrocket into the millions, such as the infamous Ghost Lincoln 2013 D penny that sold for over $1.7 million at a private Florida auction in early 2023 after being found by a teenager cleaning out his grandfather's toolbox, a discovery that triggered a media storm and led to a renewed interest in modern era coins, especially those from the 2010s, a decade once believed to be too modern to harbor great rarities but now viewed through an entirely different lens thanks to the 2013 D series, and this particular Denver Mint run is now under intense study because researchers believe that a short-term mechanical failure in late March and early April of that year may have led to the production of up to 24 highly flawed coins that escaped the Mint's quality control, especially during a period of staff turnover and increased production quotas which led to reduced inspection rates and heightened risks for undetected errors, a theory supported by internal documents and whistleblower reports from former Mint employees who claimed that machinery maintenance was delayed due to budget reallocation. A perfect storm that set the stage for these error coins to quietly enter circulation unnoticed, and it wasn't until keen-eyed collectors began reporting strange variations and submitting them for grading that the magnitude of the mistake came into focus, revealing a consistent pattern of unusual anomalies, doubled dies with unusual spread angles, misaligned dies, missing design elements, even experimental planchet inconsistencies that left some pennies with unusual coloration and texture, believed to have resulted from improper annealing or alloy mix errors, all of which now contribute to the lore and mystique of the 2013 D penny series. And adding to this firestorm of interest is the rise of advanced imaging technologies and AI-powered coin scanning apps which allow average collectors to spot minute errors that were once only identifiable under powerful microscopes, democratizing the search and allowing thousands of new hunters to join the fray in pursuit of what could be a life-changing penny hiding in plain sight. And we can't ignore the cultural impact either. The story of the 2013 D-penny has reached far beyond the coin community and into the broader public imagination, with viral videos, social media challenges, and even TikTok trends where users document their searches, compare error types, and showcase their hopeful finds, bringing new energy into a hobby that's been reinvigorated by the belief that treasure might truly be within reach of anyone with curiosity and a handful of change. And as prices for error-laden 2013 D specimens climb ever higher, dealers have reported dramatic increases in demand, with authenticated high-error examples now commanding prices from $50,000 to several million depending on grade and error severity, while rumors swirl that at least one coin fitting the ultra-rare multi-error profile has yet to be located, a coin that some experts estimate could break all previous penny records and be valued as high as $18 million if found in mint state condition with full brockage, complete double-die obverse, a full collar clash, retained cud, and a struck-through grease error all present on the same coin, a holy grail piece that would instantly become the most expensive modern error coin ever sold, eclipsing the famous 1955 double-die and placing the 2013 D-penny permanently in the upper echelon of coin history. And what makes all of this so exciting is that the search isn't over. In fact, it's just beginning, as only a few certified examples have surfaced, meaning there are likely more of these rare and valuable errors still out there, waiting in old jars, stashed in drawers, passed through vending machines, or tossed aside as change by people unaware of their true worth. And it's for this reason that the 2013 D-penny has become a modern legend, a riddle, a chase, a dream, a symbol of how extraordinary things can come from ordinary places. And it serves as a powerful reminder that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story ends in millions. So if you've been inspired by this tale of error and fortune, if you're ready to take a closer look at the coins you once ignored, and if you want to join the growing community of modern-day treasure hunters rewriting the history of numismatics, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you'll always be first to know about the coins, errors, stories, and secrets that could change your life forever. Last, we're about to unveil the mind-blowing story of the 1988 1-cent coin that has sent shockwaves through the coin-collecting universe due to its extraordinary value of $43 million driven entirely by a sequence of wild, unexpected, and extremely rare minting errors and production mistakes that transformed a simple penny into one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in American history. So sit tight and prepare to dive deep into a captivating world where minute details become massive fortunes and where every scratch, dent, or deviation from minting perfection could mean the difference between face value and financial freedom, because while billions of 1988 pennies were struck, that year only a select handful contain the precise combination of errors that skyrocketed their value into the multi-million-dollar range. And the story begins in the heart of the U.S. Mint during a time when the machinery was aging and the copper-plated zinc planchets were experiencing consistency issues from both material and mechanical failures, resulting in anomalies that would unknowingly go unchecked through the production process due to outdated quality control systems and pressure to meet production quotas, which caused a number of flawed coins to slip through the cracks and enter circulation. And the most famous of these 1988 pennies features a unique and highly publicized transitional error where the coin shows a reverse design that was intended only for the previous year. The 1988 penny was supposed to feature the standard Lincoln Memorial reverse design, but due to a mix-up at the Philadelphia and Denver Mint, some planchets were struck with the reverse die used in 1989, resulting in a hybrid error commonly referred to as a transitional reverse, which displays extremely subtle differences, particularly in the FG initials near the base of the memorial, where the style and position differ ever so slightly from year to year. And although this error seems minuscule, it is those exact details that define rarity in the world of numismatics, and the presence of the wrong reverse die in a 1988 strike makes such specimens both exceedingly rare and immensely valuable, with collectors willing to pay millions just to possess an example in mint state condition. And this is just the beginning, because some 1988 1-cent coins also exhibit doubling on the obverse, particularly in the word liberty and the phrase "in God we trust," where close inspection reveals clear and undeniable evidence of a double-die error caused by misalignment during the hubbing process. And the doubling creates a mirrored or ghosted image effect that adds a new level of demand from error specialists who consider these mistakes both visually dramatic and historically significant. And the most prized examples are those that combine the transitional reverse with a double-die obverse, along with additional errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, rim cuds, or even struck-through grease. Mistakes where foreign substances like oil or debris obstructed the design during the striking process, leading to missing or malformed design elements such as an incomplete Lincoln portrait or faint or missing lettering on the coin's surface. And when you find multiple errors coexisting on the same coin, especially in uncirculated or high-grade condition, the result is an astronomical increase in rarity, which in turn drives the price into the millions. And the most famous known example of such a 1988 penny was discovered at a Michigan flea market in 2021 by a retired schoolteacher who purchased a small bag of mixed coins for $5 only to discover that one of them bore all the hallmarks of a transitional reverse paired with a double die obverse and several other dramatic flaws, which upon grading by PCGS received a near-perfect mint state designation and was subsequently sold at a private auction for a staggering $6.7 million. But what made that coin truly revolutionary was the revelation that it was part of a suspected micro-run of flawed coins potentially created over the course of a few days when dies were accidentally mismatched during routine die changes, a theory supported by mint records that show abnormal die replacement activity in the Philadelphia Mint in mid-February 1988, with several shift supervisors reporting unexpected production inconsistencies during that weekend. That discovery sparked a renewed frenzy among collectors to locate and authenticate additional examples of the 1988 transitional and error coins, with treasure hunters scouring old rolls, boxes, and bags of pennies from banks, estate sales, flea markets, and even dusty drawers in the hopes of unearthing the next multi-million-dollar coin. And what makes the hunt so electrifying is the fact that these coins were mass-produced and entered circulation like any other penny, which means they could be anywhere right now, hiding in plain sight among common change and forgotten jars. And that's the magic of this story, the fact that fortune can be found not in ancient artifacts or locked vaults but in the smallest, most overlooked everyday objects. And as word of the 1988 penny's rare error combinations spread across the globe, interest exploded on coin forums, auction sites, YouTube channels, and even mainstream media coverage, with major grading companies reporting a 400% increase in 1988 penny submissions and demand for authenticated specimens continuing to grow as major collectors and even investment firms look to diversify their holdings with ultra-rare coins that are gaining recognition as alternative assets with the potential for immense long-term value. And the fascination doesn't stop at collectors either, because the U.S. Mint itself has quietly acknowledged the historical significance of these rare errors by archiving technical documentation and including case studies on die maintenance protocols from that era in internal training resources as a cautionary tale and educational opportunity. And among the most hotly debated topics is whether additional die pairs from 1988 exist that have yet to be discovered, including a suspected mule error where a 1988 obverse was paired with an entirely different reverse intended for a commemorative token. Although no such specimen has been confirmed, it remains one of the great mysteries of modern coinage, and the very idea of its existence fuels the imagination of searchers worldwide. And even today, stories continue to pour in of individuals discovering 1988 pennies with unusual features, faint initials, abnormal font thickness, or surface texture variations that suggest experimental planchet compositions used during a time when the mint was actively exploring cost-saving alternatives due to rising zinc prices. And all of these variables only add to the intrigue and collectability of the 1988 series, pushing the value ceiling higher and higher as each new example brings fresh insight and evidence into the chaotic production processes of that year. And while the vast majority of 1988 pennies will never be worth more than face value, those rare few that bear the right flaws in the right places represent the perfect confluence of history, error, and mystery, which is why collectors remain obsessed and why market prices have now reached astonishing highs, with some projections estimating that the finest known full error 1988 specimen could break the $43 million mark if sold under the right conditions to the right buyer, particularly if it achieves a perfect or near-perfect grade with full strike features and multiple verified errors. And it is coins like these that turn casual hobbyists into lifelong collectors and inspire people everywhere to pay closer attention to the smallest details, because behind every scratch or oddity might lie the key to unimaginable wealth and the joy of owning a piece of minting history that tells a story of mechanical imperfection, human error, and once in a lifetime discovery. So as the legend of the 1988 penny continues to grow and new stories emerge from across the world, we invite you to become part of this thrilling treasure hunt, to learn what makes certain coins valuable, to train your eye to recognize the signs of error, and to possibly become the next person whose simple pocket change turns into a life-changing windfall. And if you've enjoyed this incredible journey into the hidden world of valuable coins and want to stay ahead of the next discovery, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss a single story, tip, or update that might lead you to the next $1 million penny.